Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to jump in and look at part one of the Witch Hollow display that we're going to try to build for this season. It's going to be a big display. It's going to be plentiful. There's a lot of parts and pieces that are going to go into this. And that's exactly what we're going to look at today. No building. We're going to look at some planning, some drawings, and then kind of a material list that I think I'm going to need to get this thing started. I've got most of it out already. And so we'll go through each piece and I'll kind of explain what I think I'm going to do there. And then we're going to look at each of the buildings, not in grand detail. I'm just going to kind of give you a glimpse with a camera of all the parts and pieces from Department 56 that we're going to pour into this vignette. So I think that'll be interesting all by itself. And then starting tomorrow, we will do a review a week or a couple of reviews a week to try to get through all of the Witch Hollow pieces that I've got for Department 56 that are going to be into this display. So today is just a grassroots, down and dirty, how are we going to plan it and how are we going to try to execute what we see on paper into making a very large, very cool, very creepy, yet classy Witch Hollow display. So with that, let's go back in the crafting room and I'll show you what we've got set up. Okay, so we're back in the crafting room, and this is really my wife's office / crafting room that I have sort of taken over in some cases to help with projects, and she's okay with that. So we kind of share this room. And so we've got a double door closet that we use to store, bushes and shrubbery and foliage and all sorts of stuff in. We've got all these shelves underneath the tables that we've stored a whole bunch of crafting supplies in. We've got 3 big work tables in here. My wife's office desk is in here. All of her memorabilia is in here. We got this big cabinet that we store paints and all this other stuff in. And so when we first start working on a project, especially a project this big, I try to keep it out of the main part of the house and sort of back into a crafting room so where we can get everything started and laid out. And so I'll probably be doing some videos back here. We'll transition out to the kitchen where the lighting is better as we start to go in detail and in depth. But I just wanted to kind of walk you around this room and show you all the stuff that we've got laid out so far in preparation to do this build. Now, I will tell you right away, there's a lot of Department 56 behind me. You can kind of see the pieces and parts we're going to start using. And I don't have them all. I'm still missing 3 of the Witch Hollow pieces. And so I am constantly looking for those. The first one I'm missing is Hattie's hatware or whatever that is. They all look like hats, but it's got the netting over it. Hattie's Hat Shop, I think it's called. I'm missing Cecia's Book Emporium. I know I'm missing that one. And then I'm missing the 3 Witch Cauldron Haunt, I think it is. There's, I think that came out fairly early, and so I'm missing that one. So I'm missing those 3. If you have them and you want to let me have them, or if you'd rather me buy them from you, reach out in the comments and let's work out a deal. I really would like to get those 3. That will complete the set. I have pre-ordered the 2023 Trixie's piece that's coming out for Witch Hollow, so that will be coming to me, and that will certainly complete the set. So, hey, with that, let me get this off the tripod and let's start going through sort of a list that we're going to need and show you the parts and pieces that I've got. But before I do that, I think right here is probably the appropriate time to show you this picture. And this picture is what I envision in my mind of creating. This is going to be, the centerpiece is going to be a fairly tall broom. A lot of people do trees for Witch Hollow, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it seems like it's all I've ever seen anybody do is like a tree. And while they do look cool, I thought, what better way to display a Witch Hollow than to use some very, practical things such as a big broom. And so I envisioned 4 houses sitting on that broom. Now I could make more sitting on there if we had to or what have you. But right now I'm picturing 4. That may change, but that'll be the centerpiece of the whole entire display. On the right and left, you'll see what I refer to as stumps. Okay, so these are going to be cut out of layered foam. They're going to be sculpted like stumps with some scary faces on them. If you've ever seen the old stumps from Department 56, and for whatever reason I'm drawing a blank on them, spooky stumps or whatever they're called, they had a set way back when. I have those. They're releasing another set this year. I've pre-ordered those. And so I looked at the stump idea of a forest, old wooded area where you would typically find witches. And I thought maybe we'll just set these on these tree stumps of varying heights. I did see somebody in our local Department 56 club this past season, have some of these set up. He made them, and I'm like, wow, why reinvent the wheel? They look amazing. Let me see if I can do something like that. And so I'm going to try to replicate that as the stumps. Now, they may not be spaced like you see here in this drawing. They may be closer together. They may be further apart. I don't have enough houses to fill them all up. And I think I'm going to set a particular house, and that is the Deep Woods Haunt. I think I'm going to try to set the Deep Woods Haunt in the center of not in the center of the broom, but maybe in front of the broom, and have that displayed there. So still need a few pieces to make all of this work, but this is the initial idea. And then we're going to have some black hats, witch hats, obviously, hanging down from the ceiling on some fishing line that's going to kind of complete this. And then there's going to be some sort of a backdrop depending on where I actually place this piece. I'll give you an idea. I'll show you here on the video in a moment of where I'm going to display this, or at least I think I'm going to display it. And I'll obviously need some sort of a backdrop up there somewhere. So with that, hopefully that drawing helps. Please, again, I am going to start another YouTube channel on just how to draw pictures. That's coming. I haven't set that up yet, so don't laugh at me or make fun of me about my drawing and artistic ability. It's about the best I can do. But hopefully that gives you a better idea of what I'm seeing up here and trying to translate that out onto an actual no-kidding display. So, hey, that's enough jabbering. Let's get off this tripod. Let's take a look at the all the stuff that we're going to use to try to get this one put together. Okay, so let's first start with the main ingredient, and that is going to be witch hollow pieces, right? And so what you see kind of sitting here on the table is, and these are in chronological order based on when they were released. I'm missing 3 of them, so there's 3 that aren't in here, but I do have everything else. So the first one is Hilda's Witch Haunt, and there is Hilda above that. And we are going to actually review these 2 tomorrow, and I'll release that video sometime tomorrow. I don't have the second piece, and that is the 3 Witch Cauldron Haunt. I don't have that. I do, however, have the accessory that goes with it, and that is this one here, and it's called Fire Burn and Cauldron Bubble. It's a very, very cool piece, but I am actually missing the entire house that goes with that. So that one's missing, and then the next one that I do have is the Toads and Frogs Witchcraft Haunt. I love this one. This is really, really a really cool piece. And then I've got another Prince Croaks, which is the coordinating accessory that goes with that particular piece. We're going to be looking then at Black Cat Shack, which is an amazing piece. And then the piece that goes with that is Black Cat Snack that goes there. We move on into Which Way Home Tower, which is a very cool, almost like a lighthouse type building, very, very detailed and very cool. And then also a very cool piece that goes with that, the coordinating accessory called Witch Watch. And obviously she's got a map and looking at the stars. We're going to review all of these in detail so you'll get a better idea of how they look. We move on then to Esmeralda's Shoe Shop. I think I'm missing a piece in between there as well. But that's Esmeralda's Shoe Shop. And again, a very, very cool piece from Department 56, and then the coordinating piece called Green with Envy. And then we get into the 2020, 2021, and 2022, I believe. And some of these are a little bit out of order here, but this one is Celia's Cellar, which is it's a really cool wine piece. I like the saying there, drink up witches, which is pretty cool. So you've got that piece there, and then the coordinating piece of Witch a Brewin'. And then we come over into the next piece is really this one. It's the Cryptic Cave Crystals. And that is the piece, and it's pretty cool because it lights up and glows and changes colors at the crystal on top. And then you've got a Cryptic Cave Mystic as the coordinating accessory piece. And then last year's piece, which a lot of folks weren't too crazy about, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not crazy about it completely either, but I mean, it's good, and if you want the collection, you kind of get what they have. And this one's called Rachel's Retreat and Spa. It's more of a little retreat for if you've had a hard witching kind of day, you can go and relax and get your nose worked on, or get your warts removed or enhanced in this case. And then we've got right here a little R&R before the witching hour is the coordinating piece that goes with that. Okay, so if I step back, you're going to be able to see this is all of the buildings that I have for Witch Hollow, right? They run along this side over here. Okay, and then as far as accessory pieces, let me kind of get the camera re-centered back over here. These are some other accessories that I've got to go with Witch Hollow. The first piece that I think also fits here is called Deep Woods Haunt, and it's a Deep Woods Haunt rather, and it's a very scary looking old rundown shack that you would find way back in the woods. I would certainly think a witch would have the ability to live there, and so I'm going to try to use this in the display as well. We've got Midnight's Last Ride, which actually coordinates with a pet store sort of deal there. We'll talk more about this piece as I give the review. We've got Witch Trap that's going to go in there. We've got No Hocus Pocus here, which is a couple of witches throwing, looks like little rings around a witch hat. We've got Broom Share, which is kind of like a ride share, but with brooms. We've got Moving with Magic, which is actually a train piece for a witch piece that goes with a train. We've got a Clouder of Black Cats, because what witch does not have a black cat with her? We've got Hattie's Hats, so that's the other coordinating accessory to the piece that I'm missing, which is Hattie's Hats, Hattie's Hat Shop. I'm missing that piece, but I do have the coordinating piece. I was able to find that, so I have it just in case. We got Spells and Potions Kiosk at the bottom. We've got village accessory called Animated Hocus Pocus Witch. I showed you the Fire Burn and Cauldron Bubble from the other piece I'm missing, and then I've got some purple lights that I think will actually fit quite nice into this display. Now, what I haven't showed you, because I don't have it yet, there's about 3 or 4 witch pieces that are being released this year. There's a tree, there's a piece all by itself, there's the new Witch Hollow piece and the coordinating accessory. So there's 3 or 4, if not more, witch pieces that are going to be coming out this year that I'm going to try to cram into this piece as well. Okay, so that is all the buildings and accessories that I'm going to use. Now, there's several pieces. So I've got this PVC pipe. I've got 3 pieces of PVC pipe, and I don't know if this will be enough or not, but I believe if it's not, then obviously I'll get more. But that is what I'm going to start building the broom with. All right, so it's going to be made out of PVC pipe, and it's going to be affixed to several things. I've got several types of, this is a pine broom here. I picked a couple of these up while they were on sale. So I'm going to be able to use some of this stuff here, or at least get ideas. I was at Hobby Lobby and found all of this broom straw that we're going to be using to kind of create that broom effect at the bottom. If we come over here, sorry, the camera's kind of going everywhere. Okay, so if we come over here, This is my wife's desk here. She was also in the Air Force for about 9 years, so she's got all of her stuff displayed out here. But you'll see pool noodles, and that is on purpose. I got 3 of those to match the 3 PVC pipes that I've got. I'm going to use a technique that I think will work, and I'll explain that here in a moment. I think this is going to be the base of my broom stick. And what I mean by that is once I get everything affixed down, I'm going to put the pool noodles over top of the PVC. I'm going to take a heat gun and I'm going to start melting it in certain areas to kind of give it a contour that looks like old wood, I hope. And then we're going to paint everything black and then highlight it with some browns to make it look like wood. I will probably end up making the handle, the top of the handle, which is going to be a unique design, out of XPS or ESP foam, and carve that into the shape that it's going to be. I've got some rope here, just enough to hang myself if this doesn't go right. But if it does go right, this is going to be wrapped around the broom handle at the bottom to hold on the actual broom part itself. The sweeping mechanism is going to be used to kind of hold that down, and maybe some strategic other areas on the broom handle itself. I was able to pick up some wooden, these are 4 wood discs that I got off of Amazon, and we're going to use those as part of the arms for where some of the houses are going to sit. We've got a couple of, one bigger piece that if we need, we're going to use this. I got this on sale at Hobby Lobby a year or so ago, just in case I needed it. We've got these wood piles here. It's called Wood Pile is the brand name. These are square plaques, they're called. And these I envision going upside down to hang, to screw into the bottom of these wood planks or these wood circles. And then the PVC will come out and attach to those to kind of hold those in place. And then to balance everything, I found a piece, there's 3 circles here of wood. And the first circle right in the center, we're going to attach some PVC hardware, and that's going to get the PVC pipe coming straight out of the middle. I wanted something wide and pretty big, so the piece with the broom with the 4 pieces on it, I don't want it to wobble and fall. And so this should do the trick there. And then I think the last thing that I'll show, well, then I've got some, let's see, some stuff down here that looks creepy crawly, like witch hollow vines and stuff like that, that's going to be used in the design here. And then here is all of the PVC stuff. I just kind of got it in a bucket down here. And then this came from Amazon. These are going to be the pieces that are actually going to attach to the wood, top and bottom, to hold everything together. So a lot of thought has gone into making this what I wanted it to be initially. And you can see, if I can get the camera to cooperate here, but I don't think it wants to, sorry about that. This is everything that's going to go into the display, at least for now. There's more on the way, but this is going to, and that's why I said this is going to be a pretty massive undertaking. This is pretty massive. This is pretty huge. This will be a big display, but I think it'll turn out pretty good. So with that, let's take a look at where we're going to actually try to display these pieces. Okay, guys, you've seen this area before. We've had displays here for fall and Halloween, and so I think I would like to try to use this area here, and I will have to obviously pull this table out a little ways. I can likely use the shelf behind it to help me with some displaying some of the pieces. We've got this whole wall behind us that I'm going to order some sort of a backdrop and kind of cut it to fit it into that area and use that as a backdrop to this. My problem is I don't know if that's too much stuff to actually cram on a table and a backdrop of this size. So we're going to see. I don't know yet, but I think it would look really cool there. And then if you would kind of look up, you would have the witch hats hanging from the ceiling, kind of coming down, at least 3 or 4 hanging down above this display. So I think it would give it a really cool vibe as we're kind of walking, come around and kind of start walking into this area. You would see that, and I think it would look incredibly cool. If this does not work, if we decide at some point this does not work, it's not going to be big enough, then we're going to have to move it into where the circus was. You see that every day in the videos that I do. You'll see it again here in a moment when I close this video out. And that's the big long countertop that's usually behind me in most of my videos. Then we'll have to put it there, which is going to be a stretch because I don't think I have enough stuff to fill that entire thing up. So still somewhat of a dilemma on where this is going to go. And I'll explain the importance of that here in a moment. So here's the primary location for now, and let's go look at the other place. Okay, so we're back to the familiar, right? And so the other place that we could potentially use would be that countertop back over there. And it's got a ceiling that kind of hangs down a little bit lower, so the witch hats would certainly kind of flow from down, down from that area there over top of the little hutch there. I don't want to move those lights. I like them. They're there every year. They're part of our normal decor. So we'd have to work in and around all that stuff. And that's a pretty big countertop to try to display just that Witch Hollow scene there. And so I think if all goes well, we want to use that primary location, and that is kind of the little hallway leading back to a different part of our home. And so that is where I'm actually going to try to put it and try to make everything work from there. So, hey, hopefully that gives you a better idea of the pieces that are going to go into this, all of the hardware that's going to come along beside that to support those houses and to have everything sit on. I haven't determined, other than the tree stumps, what other type of ground cover. Is it going to be, styrofoam? Is there going to be some kind of a carved base underneath? Or am I just going to throw a bunch of moss and cloth and different things up there to make it look the way that I want it to look? I haven't bridged that gap yet. That's still to be determined, but I wanted to get at least something out. I told you last week that we would try to get at least the design portion of this done. And I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that. So now we're just into starting the reviews and actually starting to build. The broom is going to be the first thing that we're going to build. We're going to get that done and knocked out, when I say relatively quickly, probably 2 to 3 tutorials on the broom itself, if all goes well. I mean, I have not tried to melt or use a heat gun on the pool noodles, so I have no idea what that's actually going to turn out like, but just a thought that I had, and I think it'll look pretty good when it's all said and done. And so we're going to try that. So, hey, with that, if you've liked this video, make sure you click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the channel so you get constant updates anytime a new video comes out. You can run right out, at your leisure and watch the video. You never miss anything. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Certainly helps out the channel and it helps out me. And I do appreciate it. So, hey, with that, we're going to call this one done as the design video. And we'll be talking again real soon. As a matter of fact, we'll do another video tomorrow on the first Witch Hollow review. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll talk again real soon.